Hey guys, Adam from Splendid Sports. I just recently found out about an awesome short story that I wanted to share with you here. I think many of you will really appreciate this story, especially if you grew up during the time period that I did. So I was out on Facebook and I'm part of a Mickey Mantle collectors group on Facebook. And I happened to see a post from a gentleman named Robbie Bryden. And basically, what the post was, he showed a card that he just got back from PSA that he recently pulled. And this isn't your typical story where, someone buys an expensive box and pulls something expensive out of that expensive box. This was a $16 junk wax era box of baseball cards. And he pulled, in my opinion, one of the greatest insert cards of all time. So I messaged Robbie and he gave me some information I just wanted to share here because, again, this is, for me, one of the best stories I've heard in a long time. So he bought a box of Series 2 Score Baseball. And for those of you who are familiar with that set, you're probably already thinking what you may know this card to be. He bought this box, again, for $16. He bought it in a live auction Facebook group called Antique and Collectibles Live Auctions. And on March 26th, so less than a month ago from the taping of this video here, Robbie said he was sitting on his couch, drinking a beer, and decided to open some packs of that box. Well, in one of those packs that night, he pulled the triple auto, the Mickey Mantle, the Stan Musial, and the Carl Yastrzemski triple auto card that, when I think back to when I was a kid, when I was about 11 or 12, that was the card. That was the mythical card that we all wanted to pull from those, hundreds of packs probably that I opened of that Score Baseball and never got anything. I never even got, in that set, they had what were called franchise cards. So there was 150,000 cards of the Mickey Mantle, Stan Musial, and Yastrzemski. They each had a solo card that they made 150,000 of. I never even got one of those, the unautographed ones. I would have liked to get that. That would have been cool. And then a step further, they had 2,000 inserted cards of each of those three players that had the solo card with the solo autograph. So Mantle card with the Mantle autograph and so on. And then they had the granddaddy, the biggest card pull of all time for me when I was a kid. It was the triple auto on the same card of all those three guys in gold signature, which added just another cool element to that card. And they only made 500 of those. And these, again, were mythical cards. Just to own one would be incredible, but to actually pull one from a pack. So this was just unbelievable. He said his hands were shaking. You hear that all the time, but he said his hands were really shaking. He immediately sent it off to PSA. This was March 26th. The next day, the 27th, he sent it out to PSA. They graded it. He got it back a couple days ago, so it was less than a month where he got it back. PSA charged him $424 to grade that card. $424. And here's an image from the PSA website of the card. So there it is. This is it graded a 7, which is, knowing this set, a 7 is generally how they come out of that pack with the condition. And it got a 9 auto. Grade, who cares on this card? You know what I mean? It's just one of the greatest cards ever. And this on the back here was card number 465 of 500 personally autographed cards. So there it is. It's the card he just got back. And I want to read a quote that he sent me. I have it here on my phone. And I just thought it was just a perfect quote. It really sums up this great story and why this story is so fantastic. And he said, the best part about all of this is that stuff like this doesn't happen to regular people. You see guys all the time buying $5,000 boxes of new cards and pulling something out that's worth maybe $10,000. He said, I work for a living. I own a garage. I can't afford to get into this like those people. I have built a big mantle collection over the years through wheeling and dealing, but never making large purchases. It's cool as hell when the little guy pulls a nice card like this one. Nice card it is for sure. And agreed. That's why I thought this story was one I wanted to share. I haven't seen it out on YouTube or anything like that. Just again, saw it on Facebook. Wanted to share this story. One of the greatest pulls ever, in my opinion. A dream card and just a great story. So one of these days, I might have Robbie on the channel to talk about this in person. But I did want to get some information from him, and he gave his consent to share all this information and was all for it. So Robbie, congratulations. And so one of the coolest things about this story to me too is just the thought that there's 500 of these cards, and PSA's only graded about 30 of them so far. BGS has about 30, I believe. So there are still a good number of these cards that are probably sitting in packs, and that's where they've been sitting for the last 30 plus years. And they're out there in warehouses, in people's basements, in attics, in boxes that are up for sale on eBay. They're out there, but the odds of pulling one of these are astronomical. So it just goes to show how lucky Robbie got in that pull. And it's funny because he also messaged me that he's already buying more boxes now. He says it gets addictive. And, he's been in the hobby a long, long time. He said he started opening packs in 1975. And, it's just great to see someone like that pull a card like that. So, hey, they're out there. These boxes are still out there. They're waiting for someone to buy them for cheap money. And maybe, just maybe, you'll pull one of these cards yourself. Thanks, guys.